Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a really focused deep dive into what I consider a major leap forward for AI coding, assistance, and automation. We're looking at the Swapper Toolkit. Basically, it's an open source project that is acting as a desperately needed payment layer for AI agents. If you are building with AI right now and you're constantly hitting a brick wall the second you need to handle a Web3 transaction, well, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to this one.
To really understand why this toolkit is such a game changer, we have to start with a fundamental limitation of our current AI ecosystem. Just think about what modern AI agents can pull off right now, right? They can read your entire code base, they can write insanely complex testing suites, they can even deploy your server infrastructure. But despite all that raw intelligence, we hit a hard, immovable wall the moment finance gets involved. So what's the one absolutely critical thing AI agents just cannot do natively?
Exactly. They can't move money. Whenever an agent-driven workflow hits a point where it needs to make a deposit, execute a bridge transfer, or do a fiat conversion, the whole thing just grinds to a halt. As a developer, you're forced to break your context, open up a completely separate wallet UI, hunt down the correct blockchain network, manually approve the transaction, and then finally jump back to your assistant. It literally ruins your flow state.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll cover the payment problem. Second, the Swapper toolkit itself. Third, exactly how deposits work. Fourth, the architecture under the hood. And finally, number 5, the safety limitations you need to know about. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The payment problem, friction in DeFi.
The core issue really comes down to friction. If you're just doing a quick one-off task, hey, maybe the old way is fine. But for automated multi-step DeFi workflows, things like funding a strategy, rebalancing a position, or depositing into a protocol mid-task, that manual interruption completely nukes the value of automation. The new way we're exploring today generates a seamless, in-chat transaction link. It lets the AI agent prep the entire transaction for you so you never even have to leave your coding environment.
Section 2. The Swapper toolkit, the payment layer.
All right, so what exactly is it? Well, the Swapper Toolkit is essentially the payment layer for AI agents. It bridges that frustrating gap between your AI's intelligence and actual Web3 transactions by injecting DeFi skills directly into your environment. And honestly, the best part? It adds all these capabilities via one single install command.
The integration is literally this simple. Just run npx skills add swapper finance/swapper toolkit. That's the whole shebang. One command to add deposit, bridge, and fiat on-ramp capabilities straight into your setup. No complex, multi-stage configurations required at all.
And the compatibility is just massive. It works right out of the box with the major AI coding assistants and agent frameworks you're probably already using. Claude Code, Cursor, Windsurf, OpenClaw, Crew AI, AutoGPT, and yeah, even GitHub Copilot. Basically, it works with any AI agent framework that supports the Open Skills standard. You don't need to hunt down a separate proprietary plugin for every single tool in your stack.
Section 3. How deposits work, natural language, DeFi.
Okay, let's bring this to life with an example straight from their official docs. Imagine you're working and you just type this natural language command directly into your AI assistant, deposit $100 USDC into Aave on Base. In the past, the AI would just apologize and say it can't do that, or maybe just spit out a tutorial on how you can go do it yourself. Let's see what actually happens when you have the Swapper toolkit installed.
Here is how the magic happens behind the scenes. Step 1. The skill triggers because it detects your intent. It picks up on keywords like deposit, fund, bridge, or top-up. Step 2 is where the heavy lifting happens. The agent resolves your natural language into specific, actionable parameters. It knows Base's chain ID 8453, it grabs the correct USD token contract, locates the Aave protocol, and sets the exact amount to $100. Finally, step 3. Instead of executing blindly and hoping for the best, it generates a clean deposit link right there in your chat interface. You just click it, review, and confirm it in your browser.
Now, I do want to be completely transparent with you about where this project currently stands. As of right now, the live, fully working skill is the deposit function that handles direct wallet transfers, cross-chain bridging, protocol deposits, and fiat on-ramping. But the other two major features, the trade function for cross-chain token swaps and the wallet function for creating and managing smart wallets, those are currently marked as coming soon on their roadmap. So for today, you really want to evaluate this as a highly capable deposit utility, rather than a fully autonomous wallet manager.
Section 4. Toolkit architecture under the hood.
Let's lift the hood a bit. The Swapper Toolkit itself is MIT licensed and open source, which is great. But the actual heavy lifting is powered by some incredibly robust, enterprise-grade infrastructure. First up, Chainlink's Runtime Environment, or CRE, handles the end-to-end workflow orchestration, compliance, and settlement. Second, Chainlink CCIP securely routes the cross-chain transfers across more than 60 different blockchains. And third, they actually use MasterCard to process the global fiat on-ramp path, which supports over 170 countries. So you're relying on major, battle-tested infrastructure here, not some fragile homegrown bridge.
And the chain support is definitely extensive. We're talking all the major EVM networks, Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, but it also importantly includes support for Solana. Just keep in mind there's no stated support for other non-EVM chains beyond what they've explicitly listed in their official documentation right now.
Also, for the developers out there who are building custom applications, don't worry, you aren't left out of the fun. If you want to embed this exact same deposit flow directly into your own app, Swapper provides an SDK. You can drop it in as an embedded container, a modal pop-up, or even just a raw iframe. It basically gives you complete flexibility in how you present this payment layer to your own end users.
Section 5. Safety, limitations, strict boundaries.
All right, let's talk safety. Because when AI and money mix, it's absolutely crucial. The toolkit is designed around some very rigid, non-negotiable safety trade-offs. First, explicit confirmation is always required. You have to physically approve the transaction in your browser. Second, fee transparency is paramount. Things like slippage, gas, and network risks are surfaced to you before you sign anything. And critically, from a security standpoint, your private keys and mnemonics are never, ever stored in plain text, and they are never accessed by the toolkit itself.
So the huge takeaway here is this. Transactions are never auto-approved, period. This is a very deliberate design choice to keep the user safe. However, that safety feature inherently comes with a functional limitation. Because it requires a human in the loop to click a link and sign the transaction, this toolkit is just not suitable right now for headless CI/CD pipelines or for fully automated agents that you want running in the background while you sleep.
To put it all into perspective, here is the final verdict based on the docs. The absolute ideal fit for Swapper today is in user-facing workflows and mid-session funding, like when you are actively coding or chatting with an agent like Claude Code or Cursor. It completely solves that specific friction point. But if your goal is to build fully automated, headless CI/CD pipelines that manage funds entirely on their own, well, that confirmation link model is a hard stop by design.
The Swapper Toolkit does an incredible job of bridging the gap right now. It makes DeFi natively accessible to AI agents, but keeps a human safely in the loop. But as we look ahead to upcoming features like agent-managed smart wallets, it really leaves us with a fascinating question to ponder. This toolkit solves the deposit friction of today, but as developers and users, are we genuinely ready to hand over the keys for fully autonomous AI wallets tomorrow? Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this helps you build smoother, way more powerful AI workflows. Catch you next time.